How many articles on the website have Charizard in the title?
Not enough. Back when Pokemon cards were a thing in the 90s, you may have heard several stories about younger children being beaten up and having their cards stolen by bullies acting like more efficient and dickish members of Team Rocket. When this happened to a young kid called Ashley Mackenzie though, he decided to, rather than cry about it, master the art of judo and use that skill to beat the shit out of the kid who stole his cards.
So who is Ashley Mackenzie?
He is a gold medal winning judo champion who fought for Britain in the 2012 Olympics.
And a Pokemon card enthusiast.
And a Pokemon card enthusiast, yes.
As we all are.
Yeah, so he's a judo champion first, Pokemon card enthusiast second. They are the only two things I care to know about the man, because they're the only two things that matter. It's weird that I love when you find out like super huge buff people are just into really nerdy shit.
It's going to be Vin Diesel D&D we're going to bring
well,
up,
no, Vin Diesel D&D is the famous one, but one that gets me is Ronda Rousey, or Ronda Rousey, I forget how you pronounce her name. And every time I pronounce it one way, I've got a friend who corrects me, say it's the other one. So now I just don't know. So Ronda, that word, she's like super into Pokemon as well.
I used to moderate a Pokemon forum. I would go to the mall to like partake in little Pokemon tournaments and get my little badges. I was really good.
But like, and then as well, she went to like, what was it, WrestleMania, didn't she? And turned up on stage wearing a Vegeta t-shirt, like an over 9,000 Vegeta t-shirt next to The Rock, basically living my dream.
The greatest UFC women's champion of all time. Undefeated.
Oh, but I just always love when you find out like huge, big, buff people who can like snap your limbs off. And just like, oh yeah, I'm also into all this nerd shit.
So back to Mackenzie.
Yes.
You said he was an Olympic gold medal winner.
No, he's an Olympic competitor who's won a gold medal because he didn't win a medal at the 2012 Olympics. He won it at the Commonwealth Games. But to his credit, he did lose at the Olympics to a person hailing from the country where judo was invented. So you can't really fault him for that. Yeah, you lost to a guy from the country where they take judo super seriously, and you're from the UK where we care more about like, you know, equestrians and like rowing.
It'd be great if there was a press conference beforehand. They said to the other guy, why do you know judo? And he said, because it's in my family, it's in my blood, it goes back generations. My entire town learned judo.
And they asked Mackenzie, so why do you do judo? For Charizard! I want to imagine like that scene in Red Dawn where they just shout, Wolverines! It's like their battle cry. Before every fight, he just screams the word, just Charizard! And then just does like a seismic toss on every motherfucker there. Because holy shit, is the seismic toss the greatest move in Pokemon? It's basically the Izuna drop, a move I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
Not in any way.
No, the Izuna drop, people don't know, is the coolest fucking move in fiction. And I think Ryu Hayabusa does probably the best one, or the most famous one, because it's the best move in Ninja Gaiden. And it's basically, you take your opponent into the air, you wrap your arms around them, you turn upside down, and then you travel towards the ground, head first, spinning at max, like, just turbo drill into the ground. And it's like an instant kill in Ninja Gaiden against every human-sized enemy. But do you know who else does like a variation of the Izuna drop?
Who?
You know, I think they call that the Spinning Lotus. Rock Lee.
Take this! Primary Lotus!
And basically, yeah, that's what Charizard does. Charizard can also just do the Izuna drop, the flame-filled Izuna drop.
Folks, it looks like this time it's going to work!
So he didn't win gold at the Olympics?
No, but he did win in other regards because he ended up being incredibly popular with women, as anyone looking at the picture of him Brad's put behind me can probably assume, because he's got that whole smouldering good looks thing going on that, you know, like only the blessed amongst us can have. So I had to do it. Right. I say that when I'm fully stood like that. He's fucking gobbling like me. I do facts.
You stood next to him and
Yeah. It's like
yeah.
him versus the guy, you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. All right, he's a good-looking dude, I'm not gonna admit. And so he ended up being able to parlay his brief stint at the Olympics into a reality TV career, which we're not going to talk about because it's boring as shit. Because we can instead talk about how he got into judo in the first place, and that is Charizard. So the story goes, at 11 years old, Mackenzie, like many kids his age in the 90s, got into a fist fight over the game Pokemon.
We've all been there, haven't we?
Well, I didn't get into a fist fight per se, but I did remember getting into a lot of arguments with those kids who went on holiday and got the knockoff cheap Pokemon cards that were obviously fake, and they tried to insist they were real. And a friend of mine, I think he went to the Philippines or something like that, while he was over there, and bought a knockoff Pokemon deck because it has in it a Charizard that just says the words Caterpie on it. But he just said he got it and he burst out laughing because it's this like mega gold iridescent card with a Charizard and it says Caterpie. It's like God Caterpie. It's like that thing. Have you ever seen God Weedle? I forget who he's one of those Pokemon YouTubers. There's a shit ton of them, so I apologise for not knowing exactly who it is. But there's a video he does where basically he just builds an entire team around a level 100 Weedle. And somehow gets this Weedle to just dominate. And he beats a team of legendaries with a Weedle. I think it's the same guy who managed to beat a team of legendaries with a Magikarp.
What moves can Magikarp have other than tackle and splash?
Flail, which does more damage the lower your health is, so you give it a focus band. Swift Swim. Then you get you Baton Pass, a Shed Injure or something like that to give it like high speed, and then Sword Dance. And then it comes in. Yeah, say it. Nerd! I like Pokemon for fuck's sake.
So Mackenzie got into a fight over Pokemon?
Yes, specifically over his Charizard card, which another kid tried to swap him, and when he said no, the kid took it off him anyway and gave him nothing in return. And Mackenzie's response to this was, to his credit, to punch that kid straight in the fucking face, which I think we can all admit is entirely justified, because stealing Pokemon cards, that shit's not on, is it? If I was on a jury and they came in, it's during the 90s, and it's a young kid, and someone stole his Charizard, and he's accused of murder, I'd be like, it's fine. That's crime of passion right there. It's like, if an husband can get off on a manslaughter charge for shooting his wife's lover, and claim crime of passion, that kid can get away with like socking someone right in the jaw for nicking his Charizard. But the story doesn't really have a happy ending with this one, because that other kid that Mackenzie tried to punch knew Judo,
right.
And Judo flipped Mackenzie over like a member of Cobra Kai and walked off with his Charizard. So now we've got little Mackenzie, 11-year-old Mackenzie, just stood there crying on his Todd, sans Charizard, and he runs home and he tells his mum, like, Mum, someone nicked my Charizard. His mum asked like Mackenzie, so what do you want to do? And he says, can I take judo lessons so I can learn to defend myself in the future? While probably muttering under his breath, and beat up that kid. Because that's the ulterior motive there, is if any kid learning martial arts. Yeah, like you could say as an old person, yeah, martial arts teaches you like discipline. It teaches you like, respect, like, self-control. But when you're a kid, the only thing you want to do is, how can I do the cool shit?
Excuse me, sir. I already know how not to hit a guy. Can we break out the nunchucks?
Yes, the impetuousness of youth.
So I imagine a little 11-year-old Mackenzie's thinking in his head, I'm going to be the karate fucking kid. I'm going to go up and just judo flip that motherfucker who stole my Charizard and take it back, and then every girl's going to throw himself at me.
So what happened next?
Well, Mackenzie's mother, not being one to deny her son the chance to embark on a lifelong blood feud over a Pokemon card, signed him up to judo class the very next day. Coincidentally though, that judo class happened to be the one that the bully studied in as well. And you think, what, did it start a showdown immediately? Did like Mackenzie just go like stand on top of a mountain, just listening to like power metal training, doing little like mini press ups? So no, the two kids ended up becoming friends, when it turns out that Mackenzie was a natural at judo, and eventually the bully gave him the card back. And they shook hands on it and apologised to one another. And they solved the entire thing without any violence, just like Charizard would have wanted to.
Wait, that's the end?
Yeah, it's a happy ending, Brad.
We get a happy ending.
We get a happy ending in this one. Yay! Also, then he went and won a gold fucking medal at the Commonwealth Games, had thousands of women, like, calling him daddy on Twitter when they saw him on the TV at the Olympics, and then became a reality TV star. And I presume his bully just works in an office somewhere. I know the mates and all that, but he's selling his Pokemon card. So there's got to be a limit to how happy your life can be after that.
No forgiveness.
No forgiveness for stealing Pokemon cards. Not on this channel. I'm just looking at the GIF that's in the original article, and it's just a Rhyhorn just getting grabbed by a Charizard, and the Rhyhorn's like, I don't expect this. Because you just see it look up slightly, as Charizard just grabs it and flies into the air.
It's like the Charizard version of a German suplex,
Oh
isn't
my
it?
god, Rhyhorn is eating so much shit in that clip. Oh god, we're still recording now. Yeah, you know what? Put that GIF behind me while we talk about this, Brad. What is your favourite Pokemon move from, like, you know, the anime?
Oh, it's got to be Togepi's metronome.
Because you just never know what's going to happen.
And because when I first started watching it, you would never know what was going to happen because no one knew what metronome did.
Yeah.
It was just the Togepi just moving its hands side to side.
Dun, 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 dun. The best bit is all like the edits people have done of just Togepi just grooving to every song in the world. It's like it's so exploitable. It's that little like 4-frame animation of Togepi just like raising the roof, just doing his little hand waves. Oh no, I don't know what mine is, but I'm a big fan of Hyper Beam and how inconsistently it's portrayed. Like, in some, it's like a beam of energy that's intangible, but in other episodes, I think Pikachu runs along a Hyper Beam in one of the films. It's like, wait, what? And then, like, some Pokemon fire out the mouth, like Nappa in Dragon Ball, and other ones fire out their eyes. But then other Pokemon fire it like out of other aspects of their body. It's really strange.
Snorlax fires his out of both his mouth and his eyes in different incarnations.
Just screams.
No, but at the same time, in different versions.
Yeah,
it doesn't just open every orifice and just spray.
That's why it's really inconsistently portrayed. So I like the fact there's never been a definitive explanation for what the hell Hyper Beam is. Or I do like Fire Blast is another favourite because why is it shaped like the things from Blair Witch Project? Why?
Oh, I think it's because it was in the game. Is that another reason why?
I don't know, but why does it have that specific shape? I'm assuming it's like maybe a Japanese kanji or something that means fire. I'd assume it was something to do, but it just looks like the Blair Witch Project little sticks they have in the woods.
I think my all-time favourite version from the anime is String Shot. Because it does not do what it does in the game.
Which slows you down in the games.
Yeah, but in the anime, it ties you up permanently.
Yeah.
You get strung up. It's like it reduces your speed to 0.
How can you say that and not mention maximum hardness?
Maximum hardness, Metapod!
It's more about the longer Pokemon goes on, the more ridiculous it gets, because the budget just keeps getting higher. And that's why I love that Pokemon Origins, where just Charizard punches Mewtwo, and it just turns it into an episode of Naruto. Because it punches Mewtwo, and Mewtwo does like the full-on, like, just block like that, and gets flung back through a brick wall, and it looks so sick.